Hello and welcome again to IT Security Labs, and today we're going to be deploying a firewall in our series. If you're brand new, this is a series where we are creating a lab to learn cybersecurity skills that are in demand. So this is the first part where we are deploying all the components so that we can create our own private cloud that we can deploy and learn cybersecurity skills. So as you can see right now on my screen here, this actually is a graph from a lab that I had in my house that I'm going to recreate with you. And this is firewall logs that I was sending to a management system, and I was logging them so that I can visualize them. And as you can see, the pFsense is the firewall that we deployed, and I was able to tell the IP addresses that were getting blocked, the amount of traffic that I was getting, and where this traffic was coming from, the geolocation down here, the top IP address that was causing problems, and all this information. This is very critical for an IT person who is also security conscious to understand what is going on. That's why in this lab today, we're going to start by deploying pFsense Firewall. So this is the reason why I chose pFsense. It's easy to manage, and you'll see in a little bit here more reasons why. I'm going to walk you through the process of deploying pFsense, why we deploy pFsense, and the different options that you can have for deploying pFsense. So just a quick recap. You work for a company called Trevor Phillips Industries, and Trevor Phillips Industries is a small import and export company. You are hired as both the network administrator, system administrator, and you also function as a security administrator. Your job is to deploy systems that are very secure in this environment and monitor it. You are going to learn blue team skills as you deploy this lab, as you will see here in a little bit. We did create a network diagram last time, and today we're going to be deploying the first component, which is our firewall right here. So that's why we're doing this. We are going to be deploying a firewall for our employer, Trevor Phillips Industries, and you are going to make sure that this thing is secure and you use it as a security device in monitoring this environment. So by the end, you're going to understand why we are deploying pFsense as our firewall. You're also going to know how to deploy pFsense, and you're going to install pFsense, because I'm going to show you how to do that. And then I'll share with you how all this hardware looks like, a picture of my server rack today. So let's not waste time here. Why pFsense? pFsense is open source, so technically it's free because you spend some time and you can deploy it on any hardware. That's another benefit. You can use an old computer that you have and deploy pFsense. It's good for learning firewalls. As you will see, it's super easy to deploy and it's easy to see and visualize things. It's easy to set up, and there are no licensing fees. In fact, there are modules and services that you can run on pFsense, and in this case, I'm going to be deploying a DHCP and a DNS server on pFsense. As a security professional, you need to understand DNS and DHCP in and out. There is no reason why you shouldn't understand how these services work. We're going to deploy an intrusion detection system, Suricata and Snort in this case. This allows us to detect if attackers are doing malicious activity in our network, and we're going to see the deployment. Then we are going to visualize graphs for IDS from here. We'll also deploy a proxy server for proxying our internet access. Then we'll deploy NTOP NG, which is going to allow us to visualize even more the connectivity and all the connections in our network. Then we'll also forward firewall logs to Grafana for visualizing, which is the graph that you saw at the very beginning of this presentation. All right, so what are the deployment options for pFsense? You can deploy pFsense on any hardware that you have. An old desktop can do it. I've deployed pFsense on an old desktop, which I'll show you in a little bit. But you need at least 120 gigs on the hard drive so that we can store a little bit of logs from our intrusion detection system, and 4 gigs of RAM. You can also deploy pFsense virtually. So on our virtual server, you can just deploy pFsense dedicated on one interface, and that's easy because you just deploy there and you can take snapshots, which saves you time. You can move your pFsense around. You can duplicate this machine. So depending on which option you choose, it doesn't really matter in this case. I'm going to run on physical hardware because I just have hardware laying around, and I'm going to maximize all the performance that I can, but I encourage you to virtualize it if you can. So those are the different deployment options. The hardware that I deployed mine is a HP Elite, like one of these. So this is the computer that I deployed pFsense when I was showing you earlier. And these are the two interfaces that I'm talking about. So as long as you have these two interfaces here, you'll be good. So find an interface card that matches that. Otherwise, this is an old desktop that will cost you around $50 or $100 on eBay. But if you have an old desktop laying around, deploy pFsense there. Otherwise, grab an old piece of hardware. There are other pFsense deployment options that are encouraged out there, or you can virtualize it, like I said, and here's some documentation here that you can use. And from here, you can also see where they talk about the requirements for hardware. For example, if you click right here, minimum hardware requirements, make sure to go through this. And as you can see, you need a CPU that's 600 or faster, RAM of 512 megs, 4 gigs is going to do it when you're running intrusion detection and prevention systems. And so go through this documentation for pFsense if you're interested in really seeing a lot more about what you can deploy. If you're going to be deploying it on hardware, just remember that you need to download the ISO netget. So if you just go to Google and say pFsense ISO, you're going to see that you go to download pFsense here, select this one, AMD 64, then choose either CD if you're burning into a CD drive or USB mem stick, and then select VGA here, and then this closest CD to you. Once you download the ISO, you need a tool called Rufus. Download Rufus to your computer. Then once you download Rufus to your computer, launch the application and point it to your USB drive. And once you burn it to your USB drive, you will be able to load your ISO. So that's how you are going to be able to get your ISO to a USB drive if you are going to do that. Or burn it to a CD. One way or the other, it doesn't matter. Figure out how to burn it there, then boot from that image. Then once you boot from that image, this is what you're going to see. All right, so when you boot pFsense, this is what you see. It just starts going, and it doesn't take too long here. And I'll show you the basic steps here very quickly so that we can get it started. In the next video, we'll then configure everything that we need. But for now, let's get it started so that we can get pFsense installed. It asks you to accept the terms, which you say yes. And you want to choose the option to install, obviously, because we're installing pFsense. And continue the defaults, auto, and we're writing. This takes a very short time. It doesn't take too long at all. Then when this is done, I'll show you our server rack and what it looks like, because I know you guys are dying to see that. Okay, when that is done, it says installation is now finished, done here. No, yes, let's reboot. It will ask you to remove your CD installation if you haven't. All right, so our system is rebooting. All right, enter the one interface that you want. Let's say A for auto, because we have two interfaces on our pFsense. All right, so as you can see, we rebooted our firewall and we have our LAN interface on 192.168.5.16. That's our WAN interface. Then our LAN is 192.168.1.1. In the next video, I'll show you the connectivity of everything and how we can access this pFsense firewall. But for now, we have installed our pFsense firewall. In the next video, when we start, I'll show you the connectivity on the server rack and also how it works. All right, so here's what my simple server rack looks like. It doesn't have to be expensive. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I want you to see that you don't have to break the bank to have a lab. So I just quickly explain this right here that you're seeing is our Dell R720. That's the server that I spent $299 on, this one. And this server is going to be what runs everything. So if you're installing pFsense virtually, then wait until our next video when we install VMware in this server, then you can install your pFsense there. If you're installing your pFsense on a hardware router, in this case, I'm using a Dell 2950. Don't buy this server. It's ridiculously loud and it takes a lot of energy. For now, I'm just running mine here. I'm going to transition mine to a nicer hardware when I get the money. If anyone wants to sponsor this video, give me more money so that I can have things running in here, let me know. Any sponsors are welcome. But for now, I'm running on this 2950. This one has two interfaces that I have, and I install pFsense the same way that I showed you here, and I'll show you in the next video. This right here is our external NAS. You don't need this. This is optional. I'll show you how to configure it. We're going to set up iSCSI storage for backups and everything. That's good for security, and also making sure that we understand what backups are, because attackers go for those as well. Then we also have our switches here. These are D-Link switches. I will be explaining the configuration when the time comes. Otherwise, we just have a power strip here, which is running in our lab. So it's super simple. This is my old desktop, my gaming PC. So I'll be giving you a closer look at this, but I just wanted to let you know what it looks like right now since you waited until the end. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed this series. Today we installed our pFsense and I showed you how you can install yours. So go ahead and do it. Otherwise, I'll see you next time where we'll be walking through the connectivity on this lab and also finishing setting up our pFsense in the future. So thank you for joining me. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.